Hey y'all, it's Captain Trix, and today we are going to talk about Ni no Kuni Crossworlds. This is the latest installment in a series of RPG games developed by Level 5 Studio. Level 5, animated by Studio Ghibli, and published by Bandai Namco. At least that is true for the other games in the series. Crossworlds, while still animated by Studio Ghibli, was developed by Netmarble. This should have been a little bit of a red flag for me, but I was excited and threw caution to the wind. Crossworlds was my first time hearing about this series at all. Being completely unfamiliar with this setting, I found the premise for this game interesting. You play a beta tester in a virtual reality game that is set in a fantastical world. I absolutely love this idea. And while I know that it's been done before, it's still a premise that I'm into. And they do play up to it in the story a bit. Now, the real point of my video today is to give my initial impression of the game. If you saw the stream over on my Twitch, or you're in my Discord, then you have an idea what I'm about to say. So let's just dive into this kind of mini review. First off, I want to talk about the positives. There are a few things I really like, though I don't think it will be enough to keep me coming back. So, the art is undeniably beautiful. That's unsurprising for Studio Ghibli. Many people have been pointing out some similarities between the game and Howl's Moving Castle. I find myself wondering if it's intentional. I mean, my first impression of the swordsman was that he looks a lot like Howl. At least to me. I could be out of my mind though. And it could also just be coincidental. The story thus far is good, and I'm sure it will be similarly good until the end. There are well done fourth wall breaks that even NPCs within the game react to. It's cute, and I am curious where it's going to go. There are a lot of objects that you can interact with, play with. You can pick up things, kick, throw, and otherwise interact with a lot of stuff throughout the world. You can water potted plants, roll dice, set off fireworks, and even stab a pirate in a barrel. All of that is just in one city. I personally approve of being able to pick up cats, and I hope that there are dogs you can pick up. There are hedgehogs, and kind of like alpaca creatures that you can also pick up, so maybe there are dogs. I do question there being house cats in a world with humanoid cat people and why they might have them as pets, but that's a different conversation. I'm a little torn on the pet and costume systems. I like that they exist. I do. Pets are fun, and these do actually work in battle. They'll fight with you. And there's a lot of cute options for the costumes and stuff. I don't like the monetization potential though, particularly for the pets, because they are something that fights with you. However, this being a mobile MMO, the gacha system, and elements of that isn't really a surprise in the least. So I fully expected that. I don't have to like it. But I do like the costumes. that sort of thing I always enjoy. I'm sure there are more positives like the achievement systems and things like that. But this is based off of my initial impression and a few hours of gameplay. Unfortunately, the cons are likely to keep me from delving into the game much further. So with that, let's get into the negatives. Let's start at the beginning of the game. I do understand that this is primarily a mobile game. However, there is a PC client. Here is where my personal problems begin. Instead of following you to create an account on PC, instead of allowing you to create an account on PC, or even on their website, you are forced to make an account on the mobile app. There is legitimately no reason for this. It's not the worst part, though. Not only are you forced to make the account on a mobile device, you're also forced to make your character on a mobile device. I have heard one person say that they didn't have to do that. But I don't know how. It legitimately would not allow me to create a character in the game. If you were able to do so without already having a character previously, please let me know how you did it, because I'm curious. This was particularly annoying while I was streaming because I wanted to go from character creation on, and I just could not do that. It also, in general, just gives a poor first impression to people that may want to play on multiple platforms, especially if they want to have multiple accounts. Continuing with character creation, let's talk about the classes. The classes are not only gender locked, which is annoying in and of itself, but they are also age locked. There are 2 female options, witch and engineer. Then there are 3 male options, destroyer, swordsman, and rogue. Of those, 2 of them are children, the rogue and the engineer. I don't, in general, have a problem with child characters, but it doesn't really feel like you can make your own character when limitations like these are in place. I personally wanted to try engineer, but I did not want to play a child. I also did not want to be a guy, so that left me with 1 option. This won't be an issue for everyone, but it's not something I care for in a game that calls itself an MMO. It also does not really... It makes it harder for people to have proxies of themselves in game. There are people who like to do that. So, yeah. Autoplay is a very common feature in mobile games. And while I did expect that, I didn't expect it to be so hard to turn off. It is, in fact, impossible to turn it off completely. Every time you accept a quest, your character will begin to auto-run. And if you're going to combat enemies or whatever the case is, turn another quest in. If you don't catch it in time, it's just going to go on and continue everything. Even if you turned off the option for auto combat, it will fight. Which brings me to the whole point that there is cross swords on the bottom of the screen are supposed to turn off auto combat, and they don't work completely. Even without completing a quest, or picking up a quest, sometimes I do find it auto-attacking with no input from me. I have never seen this in another, not MMO or otherwise. If there are options to turn off autoplay and auto combat, then those options should work. I and many players like to explore big open worlds, and auto play options don't allow for that. Actually, speaking of options that don't really work, this one is a pet peeve. I know a lot of people don't care about this, even for screenshots, but I do. There's an option to turn off floating names above character heads. I personally feel like those just clutter up the screen and look bad in screenshots. The option, however, only removes NPC names. I can deal with the names in general, but I really prefer clean screenshots. And you can't get that even using the in-game camera to take pictures. You're still going to have your name floating over your head. I apologize, I am recording this very early in the morning. This next thing just feels odd. A lot of lines are voice acted, and speech bubbles pop up. Voice lines do not match the text. Most of the time, it is simply incomplete. But it is also sometimes incorrect. Partially, I would assume this is to save on space usage for mobile devices. That would not explain the flat out incorrect lines. It just explains why they might have shorter dialogue. This doesn't really make the game feel complete or well made. It doesn't really feel like they cared. Even though it may be small detail for a lot of people. And the last couple of things I want to talk about are really one and the same. This is a Netmarble mobile game, so a certain amount of monetization is to be expected, as I've talked about previously. For this game, and perhaps a few others, they have taken it to a new level. This is actually the main reason that I don't think I'll really be playing this. Netmarble has its own crypto wallet, MarbleX, and you can link to it. There are two types of tokens players can currently get. You can exchange in-game currency for these tokens, but you can also buy and sell them through their wallet, the website for that. The tokens are NKT and NKA, with in-game currencies that correspond to them, Terite and Asterite respectively. Terite is earned by completing tasks and challenges on a daily basis, generally PvE content. Asterite is earned through competitive PvP content. Now, it's not uncommon for games to have multiple currencies that you do earn by just playing the game. It's just turning those into a cryptocurrency is, well, to me, kind of icky. If that wasn't bad enough, though, it's not where it ends. There are going to be NPCs in the game. I think I saw that it was going to be quarter 3. It's not currently known what form it will take, at least from what I saw. But they're going to be in the game. That's something the studio is. They have made assurances that they won't betray the players and that it won't affect the experience in game. I really find that anything but reassuring. I just cannot support the inclusion of crypto and NFTs in games. Maybe that doesn't bother you, but it does bother me. And I know it does bother quite a few people as well. I'm sure there are pros and cons to Ni no Kuni Crossworlds that I'm unaware of, as I do have a small amount of playtime in it. And there is a good chance that I'm never going to get to see what those are, personally. I was overall disappointed with the game. If you're enjoying it, then I hope you continue to do so. It is a lovely game, but it has some major issues, in my personal opinion. And I'll be honest, most of my disappointment comes from the crypto. The other stuff are pet peeves that I could work around and just submit a ticket for to try and get them to correct, to make it easier for PC players, or to make the options actually work in the settings. But the NFTs and cryptocurrency, I don't think I can look past. Anyway, that's all I've got today. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I would love to hear your thoughts on the game, the cryptocurrency, the NFT, all of that. So leave a comment. I apologize if my throat is really scratchy sounding. It's actually like 2 a.m. Something like that. So my throat's just dry. So I apologize for that. But I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. If you want to catch me live, then check out my Twitch, which is going to be linked below, along with a lot of the other socials and stuff. I stream Monday through Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Bye.